He used to have this phone number. This guy used to have this phone number, and that's my phone number now.
I got it in here. So maybe I've dialed the wrong number. But since I have you on the other line, we have a property that you might be wanting to sell around.
Who are you? I'm not even sure who I'm talking to.
Oh, I'm really sorry. My name is Julia, and I work for a group of real estate investors here in Kansas. So we are looking some properties around Kansas that's possible to buy. Do you have one?
Oh, so you're representing realtors in this area,
Yeah,
to
just
find
like
properties for sale. Oh, I see. I see. Now, are you licensed here in this state as a licensed realtor?
I could pass you to one of our acquisition specialists directly, and they'll be the one. I am just working to extract some information in regards to the property, and then I'll be forwarding this one, and you'll be talking in regards to the property for further details with them.
Oh, I see. But since you're representing yourself with a company inquiring about real estate properties, by state law, you have to have a license and to represent yourself representing these companies. So I'm just wondering, are you a licensed realtor?
Yeah, definitely.
So you are licensed in this state to be selling and buying real estate. Am I correct then?
You got it. Yes.
Okay, that's great to hear. So you're calling me. It's a cold call. And again, what's the name of your company? I'm sorry.
For this one, I really cannot disclose any information. But if one thing I want to ask, do you have any that you might want to sell around Kansas?
Well, you're calling me, asking me if I, have properties, and I do. I do own several properties, and I'm a businessman. That's part of what I do. But at the same time, you're asking me for information, and you're not willing to identify yourself. Now, that seems rather odd to me.
But anyways, if indeed
No, wait. Then let me. Well, I'm sorry. What's your name again? You probably told me. I'm sorry.
It's Juliet.
Julia. Okay, so Julia, let me ask you this: if you were me, and I were calling you a cold call, getting this call, and representing saying I wanted to buy some property, but I'm not willing to tell you the name of my company or who I represent, wouldn't you find that a bit odd?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. You would. I mean,
feel.
and honestly, you would, wouldn't you? So and me finding it odd is just a natural happenstance of what your call. You give me this call. It's very odd to me. So if you can provide me some information of who you're representing, what companies, how much their assets are. I'm willing to sell property if people have enough money to buy it. But I'm not going to sell property to people I don't know anything about their financial status.
Definitely. All right, I understand your circumstance.
Well, you do understand it, but I just want you to know that you calling me like this is a really poor business technique. You're probably going to scam some people or get some very gullible people, but anybody who's a serious businessman or businesswoman isn't going to fall for this, really.
For this one, sir, I really understand what you're going through right now, because if I'm in your situation, I'll be doing the same stuff. Okay, but here's what we're going to do. I can forward your information to one of our acquisition specialists if you are really interested to sell your property, and we're going to provide the information that you've needed.
Well, no. Here's what we're going to do is I'm not going to give you any information unless you identify your company, and I get information on the how much money you have behind you financially to possibly purchase any of my properties. I do have properties, and they're always for sale. But what we're going to do is conclude this conversation unless you can provide me some definite information of who you're representing and how much they're worth.
Okay. All right. So for this one, Tori, I'll be forwarding your information to them, and they'll
Well, no,
be the
don't
one.
forward any information. No. There's no need to forward information at all, because if you're not willing to be forthright with me on information, there's no need to turn me over to a closer or somebody else to try to make a sale, because it's going to be dead in the water unless you tell me who you're representing and what you're worth, what your company's worth. So if you're a legit company and have the money to buy properties, I'm always interested in selling properties that I have. But if you're not willing to give me information, this is dead in the water. So don't turn my name over to any closer, because it ain't going to happen, honey.
Yeah, I understand. All right, so I won't consume too much of your time. I guess you're really busy right now. But anyway, thank you very much
for the record. For the record here, you still with me? You still with me here?
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't a very good scam you're trying to pull. It really isn't. It just doesn't work. You better go back and rethink what you're doing, because you might get one or two fools, but for the most part, you're not going to make very much money on the scam, really. It's just, you might want to rethink this scam and do something else.
All right then. So for this one, sir, I really apologize for consuming your time. But anyways, I'm just asking if you're better to sell your property. But if it's not because of the information, I will insist. Okay?
Sounds good. I think you should end the conversation. Bye bye. And she did hang up, and that was clearly a scam. This is, just recently, the past several days, this, I think, the third or fourth, property buying scam somebody's called me about. So, and I think it's probably the same company. But I told them it's a really, really terrible scam. They should rethink. If they're going to try to steal money, at least be more creative about it. God, they're thieves, but at least they can be at least smarter thieves. So, anyway. Thanks for watching.